Welcome one, welcome all to episode 248 of the Xbox Expansion Pass, recorded on Saturday, October 26th, 2024. I'm your host, Luke Lohr, the Insipid Ghost, joined by my co-host, the Intrepid Captain Logun. Alongside the Captain today, we are joined by one David Burdette of GamingTrend.com and xBaconGamNx from the Nerd Chat. Today, we will be discussing the release of Call of Duty Black Ops 6, the impending arrival of Dragon Age Veilguard, and of course, all things Xbox. Logan, we like to start the show by offering words of kindness to those who have made our gaming weeks better. But first, how are you, my friend?
Tired. Call of Duty opened last night. I have been playing a little bit of it till a certain number of hours in the morning. But how are you doing?
I am fantastic today, and in a long, difficult week, professionally, personally, just a lot of stuff going on, but a wonderful weekend has begun. We did a haunted trail last night, had a blast. There are so many, like Black Ops 6 is out. I've been enjoying Arkham VR. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I've just been very fortunate as far as like the games that are coming out appealing to me. And so I'm wonderfully appreciative there. So good times are happening, I suppose.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, let's welcome Mr. xBaconGamNx from the Nerd Chat, long awaited on XEP proper. Good to see you, man.
You know, gentlemen, I've been watching the show for quite some time, every Saturday at work, because I work every single Saturday. Never had the chance to be on here, so I'm super happy I'm on vacation. This is two firsts for me. First, being on XEP. Second, early enough doing a podcast to still be drinking my morning coffee.
There you go.
Who streams this early in the morning? Doesn't make any sense, but I'm happy to be here, fellas.
Hey,
Luke
we're
does.
glad that you are. We are glad that you are, for sure. David Burdette, it's good to see you back on XEP. It's not been too long, but given your recent work with GamingTrend and what you're doing with Call of Duty, it made good sense to have you back on, my friend.
Yeah. I was kind of laughing because Logan was talking about it started last night. Like for me in Central Time, it started at 11 p.m. Thursday night because I was on when the servers went hot, played for like 2 hours of multiplayer, went to bed, got up again at like 7:30 in the morning to take care of something, and then at 9 o'clock I was already streaming the campaign for a couple of hours. Then I've been playing multiplayer and zombies nonstop yesterday, and I'll be doing a lot more today.
I'm so excited to jump in myself, and I'm anxious to hear everyone's impressions, the chat's thoughts, and whatnot. But let's start with our words of kindness, guys, because it's a pleasure for me to have you all on. And in a trying week for me, as I said, professionally, personally, I've had so many great things happen around me. And so I want to give words of kindness shout outs to community member Sabarito, who has really been helping me on my Arkham VR and my Quest VR journey. Somebody over at Meta was kind enough to send me a MetaQuest 3S, so that I could have my first experience in VR ever, which was amazing, and play Arkham Shadow. So shout out to the Arkham team for that. They were the ones that gifted it to me. And so Sabarito has been guiding me through the Quest ecosystem. And then I've been talking to you, David, about it. Sabarito helped me with like figuring out referral codes, because then what's really cool in the Quest community, you can do referrals. If you're playing a game, if you own a game, you can refer somebody to it. You get a discount, or they get a discount, I should say. You get a kickback on it. And it just kind of makes this wonderful cycle of sharing games and saving, money and supporting an ecosystem. So that's been really neat. I've got all these wonderful experiences that I've tried, I've been exploring, and I'm ready to deep dive once soccer season ends. But I want to shout out him, Todd Oxtra, Anubis, all of them for just amazing VR talk. And of course, Ryan from the Arkham team is the one who sent it to me. And so they are my words of kindness this week, just genuinely uplifting. And coincidentally, at the 5-year anniversary of XEP, which is amazing. I didn't realize that happened. It just kind of showed up. So to have that happen and be in conjunction, it was just, I felt very fortunate in my gaming community. So I'm grateful to all of them and to you guys. So yeah, those are my words of kindness. Yeah.
Nice.
Logan, who's on your words of kindness list, my friend?
I would say Ains, I would say Bacon, I would say Joe, I would say pretty much everyone that's over on the Blue Sky community now. Like it's nice. Like I know Threads has been a thing for a hot minute, and Threads is doing pretty good, but I gotta say, the familiarity with Blue Sky and just seeing like everyone post over there and not seeing like really nasty takes or just scrubbing through there and seeing just like the worst things. Like I even gave like Twitter a shot the other day, and I was like gonna check in on some things and like read some comments, and the comments were just like ridiculous. So it's been really nice to see the community over on Blue Sky, because it's effectively like a Twitter clone, because it's the original creator and stuff. So it's just nicer over there. And someone who deals with, you know, like having to read through all of the nastiness that gamers in the community can have towards each other about opinions and stuff.
Right.
It's just not there yet. And I'm just really like enjoying that. So if anyone's like looking for content creators who are over on like Twitter, but don't want to have to deal with the filth and grime, Blue Sky is a really good opportunity, and I think it's open to everyone now. So I think you can just head over there and make an account and start using that, because that's kind of where I've been wanting to push a lot more of my content, just because it's small enough to where people are having like good conversations and stuff to engage with each other, and the algorithms actually like showing people my content, and I'm seeing other people's contents and stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. Bacon, you went to Blue Sky, didn't you?
I did, and I'm shocked at how much it is Twitter. Like it just visually, use wise, it's Twitter. A lot less targeted ads with stuff I do not want to see, do not want to hear, do not want to associate with. So it's kind of nice. Other than our big group chat we had over there, I have no reason to go back to Twitter anymore. I loathe that website right now.
Yeah. I can't say I blame you. Cannot say I blame you at all, my friend. Do you have words of kindness for us this week, Bacon?
I do. I want to shout you guys out for having such a welcoming Discord. A lot of our viewers for our show have come from your guys' Discord and having us on your show. But mainly, I want to shout out Nissa Howard. She is at every single one of our shows. She's there early. She's super supportive. So Nissa, you my girl. Where you at? You're in here. I see you already. And shout out to all the guys who do show up and talk in our chat, but you're the rock. You're there before we go live every week. So I want to shout you out and appreciate you.
Those are the best feelings, because like I know I can always count on certain people to show up, and I just feel better seeing their names, just knowing. You know what I mean? Even if because we all get super busy sometimes. Like I have not caught some of the podcasts I've wanted to watch lately. I'm missing Sam and Kevin's podcast the last 2 weeks and just haven't gotten there, and I hate it. But I always jump in, hit like, you know what I mean? Like I always click, hit like, because I want them to know I'm there for them. And when my time comes back, like I'll be there, because those rocks in our communities help. Just seeing this, seeing Todd, it means a lot. So that's awesome. Very cool, man. David, how about you, brother? You're one of our rocks for sure.
Appreciate that. I actually have two separate ones. The first one is one of the reasons I had to get up so early on Thursday was or Friday. I don't remember what day it was, but I had to get up very early, and it was because my water heater died. A very horrible death. And we had just gotten through with spending more than $1,000 on fixing some stuff with our car. We had just came back from vacation after spending that kind of money, and then like come back and then crap. This is going on. And I'd had it it was like a 14-year-old water heater. So I had gotten well more than the expected lifetime out of it. But it always sucks when you hit that moment. You're like, crap, I've got to do this. And we had I work for a nonprofit that runs thrift stores, and I talked with the people that have helped us before with taking care of our stuff at our stores. Not only did they get somebody out that day and then looked at it and then immediately turned around and took care of me the next morning, but these people are some incredible people in our community, and the owner of it talked with me and stuff, and he was like, hey, I'll get it to you for this price. And he's like, and I know you're worried about like how you can pay for it. Give me what you can when you can, and we'll take care of it. Cool. And like, there's nothing that takes a load off your shoulder more than when you know a $1,200 water heater is not coming out of your pocket immediately, and that's just really incredible from them. But then, secondly, our community in general at the thrift stores, because we've been raising some donations for the Hurricane Helene victims, because I actually grew up around that area, like, so in that North Carolina area got hit, and we managed to take in just in like roundup donations and all these different things in our stores. It's only 3 little stores, but we took in 2 weeks $1,200, and then we added another $800, and we're able to send a check of $2,000 over there. So
Cool.
like, just shout out to the local community for, you know, pitching in and helping where they could.
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. That's just feel good stuff right there. That's the stuff you need, right?
Yep.
Like in your week, next to all the things that don't actually matter that we sometimes take so seriously. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, gents, ladies, audience members, chats, it is so good to have you here. Of course, we're going to be focusing the first part of our show on Call of Duty Black Ops 6. It has launched, and I just want to say how stoked I am, because I loved Modern Warfare's 1 and 2. I am one of the people that enjoyed both campaigns. I thought it was very strange how hostile it got. I love Warzone. I love what they do. I am nervous about Black Ops 6 because all of my cosmetics don't jump over, a long-standing conversation we've had on XEP. That said, hearing the things I'm hearing about the campaign, seeing the things I'm seeing on socials about the omnidirectional movement, I'm very anxious to hear those of you that have gone hands-on. I know you've put a lot of time in, David. I'm going to open it up, Logan, with you to start with your first impressions, so that then when it gets time for David and Bacon to jump in, they can really just kind of analyze your experiences. And also,
Hey,
shout out.
Luke.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention, in Warzone, your cosmetics will stay. It's just Black Ops 6 multiplayer.
Yeah, yes, I did know that part.
Okay.
But I'm still
just for
bummed.
Everybody else, in case they didn't realize that. You
No,
won't
I
lose yourself
appreciate
in
it.
Warzone.
I appreciate it. Good call. And let me throw out a gift of 5 memberships to those who are watching. I appreciate you guys. Happy XEP 5-year anniversary.
Hey.
There we go. Logan, tell me about your time in Black Ops 6 to start us off.
Oh man. It's really nice on PC. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we got codes, thankfully, from Xbox. It was very nice of them to provide us with review codes for that. So I am running it on my 4080 Super because of the ability just to have it on PC as well as Xbox. It's very nice. I've got it running on my Xbox Series X right now in the background, and I'm not gonna lie. This is really good. Like, it is really good. I had to play through the first few missions of the campaign twice. I don't know why my save didn't carry over, and I'm kind of scared to go back into the campaign today or tomorrow to jump back in, because for whatever reason, the first mission is Bishop takes Rook. And when I went in today last night to go in and play more campaign, I figured I'd be picking it up right after I'd finished it the night before on Thursday night. And I had to jump back in and play through that mission and the few others to get up there, as well as go through and do the puzzles that are in the mansion. That's all I'll say. But once I got through that, I was like, okay, let's go. The campaign's fantastic so far. I've had a really good time with it. They've got some really good showcase moments to just kind of like bring you through the story. I really like Woods. I don't know what's with his voice. Like, his voice feels off, like, from what he looks
cool.
like.
Yeah.
But Woods has like a snark to him that speaks to me in a very 80s and 90s way. So I'm loving that. But after that, jumped into did some campaign, and then I did some zombies till pretty late in the night on Thursday night. Zombies is wild, going back to horde mode. I have to get used to the fact that it's like, no, there's just always pressure. There's no like chill moment like there was with zombies with Modern Warfare 3, where you can just hang out for a little bit in level 1 and not worry too much. Like if you need to go to the bathroom, there's a good chance you'll probably be able to go to the bathroom if you need to. Not in horde mode, but it looks great. I love the maps. It is going to take me a while to figure out the gobble gum system because I haven't really
that's new.
paid close attention to it.
It's not Modern Warfare.
Yeah. So, but that is something that's really awesome.
How would you guys tackle Gentlestone's question here? He never played a Black Ops game. Is it newbie friendly?
Well, he's not going to know
Actually,
Adler's storyline or others.
It doesn't matter though.
I mean, yeah, it's a Call of Duty. You could just play a Call of Duty for the set pieces and the action. But to know the true granularity of the story and what's going on, not knowing Adler.
Yeah.
Does it offer a recap? Because I've always preferred Modern Warfare.
No.
No recap. Interesting.
I'll say this too. It does not like the setup for the it just like punches you in the face. We're in this. Like it's like right away. Very like there's nothing slow about how like I was expecting a build up to some of the stuff, and it was like, no, we're just there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
First mission was dope.
It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I would say then after that, I jumped into multiplayer yesterday afternoon and played about, Chick would probably know, but I would say probably close to 8 hours of campaign. I don't know. I'm up to like 31 or 32 as far as like player progression, getting ready to prestige at 55. Got my gold gun on my XM4. Just
I almost have that one
through it. Yeah, it's really nice. Like it's a lot of fun. The omnidirection hasn't been too big an issue like so far, but I haven't really messed around with it myself. But I love when people slide into my bullets. That's fantastic. So TTK feels good. We've been playing hardcore, so it's really nice. I hate the red card map. I think that map can burn. I'm sorry, it's soccer because I know that's the thing you like, but that is a terrible map.
I'm so good at just manipulating that map.
It's such.
It was David you fought against, actually.
Well, probably the issue with it is it's just too open and there's too many weird little sight lines. So like if players drop in or drop out of that map, you're running around trying to figure out where people even are. Because there's just so many little nooks and crannies. Yeah. And I'm like,
and maybe it's just me, but I've learned the spawns for that so fast. Like I was keeping people in their spawns constantly.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna depend. I mean, every time that I've played it, it's like there's a good chance that I'm probably going to win on the map. But there's definitely been points, and Joe can probably talk about this in his discussion over on PlayStation Trophy Room. Like we had a match where we were just literally running around trying to figure out where people were, and it got to the point where we were so comfortable not seeing someone because the map was so big that it was just like we kind of got surprised when we started to die because we were just running into people and not noticing it. But
did you catch the music in that red card match?
Oh yeah, the music.
No more. Oh
yeah. The little music, vignettes that they have in some of the levels are fantastic. But yeah, I'll definitely head over to the actual field over where they have the little outlets and stuff because the music at Faith No More is playing like on loop. I love it over there. But yeah, that's kind of been my experience. Multiplayer is great. Got to learn more about zombies, and the campaign's been fun. I just had the one weird hiccup where, for whatever reason, the missions that I completed didn't save, so I had to go back and play through those again.
I was waiting for you guys to jump in with your thoughts on campaign. I'm sorry. Tell me about how the campaign really does get going, because you're saying it punches you in the face. How different is this than the Modern Warfare experience?
Well, I guess like I'm trying to, so the whole story, and they've already kind of went over this, is that, you go into this mission, you go to do this mission and Adler shows up and then everything goes to crap. And then you got to go underground is kind of the whole idea of this whole Black Ops. You're separate from the agency kind of thing. It starts right away. Like I was expecting okay, you're going to do this long mission to get yourself going and then you'll go underground. And no, you're like, first mission, we're going underground. Like it felt like within 30 minutes, I was already in the middle of the story is what it truly felt like. Like, and I'm not saying that like it's good or bad in that sense. I just think it's a lot different than you really don't have the setup as much. You're kind of like, wait a second. Hold up. Where are we again? Why are we doing this? And then you're just in the meat and potatoes right away. So
Luke,
it's just really interesting.
If I could compare it to something else, imagine the interrogation scene from Batman Dark Knight running at the same time, like cutting between that and the opening bank scene. And that's kind of what the opening feels like. Like you're being interrogated about what happened at the bank scene as if you were the Joker and like Batman was interrogating you. Like
that's a good way of putting it.
It's effectively like it's a really good cold open, and you're already feeling like you're being called out for something that someone wasn't there to see what happened. And you're in the doghouse and you're like, you know what? Screw this. I'm over this.
Interesting. And I've always felt like Call of Duty can have some of the highest highs when it comes to campaigns and storytelling, which would seem at odds. Like, right, like people wouldn't go there. They're like, oh no, it's the Fast and Furious of games. But like when I think about my experiences in the Modern Warfare series with the like missions like violence and timing, like when you're upside down from a helicopter shooting people, when I'm in the ghillie suit moving through that classic Modern Warfare experience, and then some of the old Black Ops missions where you are being interrogated and then you're doing some of the things you do there. Like I feel like Call of Duty gets a bad rap, but then to see that I think everybody was circulating the IGN campaign score of a 9.
IGN can go higher than a 5. I'm impressed.
I did get a kick out of that because the Xbox community is so anti-IGN, and then they're all like, look, IGN, they said it was good, and I was like, all right, I thought we didn't like them. I just got a chuckle out of the reactions. But to see it scoring so well, in your experiences, do you feel that same level of quality, like it's 9 worthy in what you've done and worked with so far?
I'm 4 missions in so far on the campaign, I believe, or I'm just finishing up the 3rd one. I'm playing on veteran, so it's 2 shots and you're dead. I've died 80 times. I do that because I just want to get the 1,000 out of the way and not have to play back through it.
I love playing on veteran with COD. That's awesome.
You can see the quality in this game. You can see the longer dev cycle. As far as any issues I've had progression issue where it shows my rank as 1, but everything I'm getting shows my rank way higher. Backed out of the game, came back in, everything adjusted, everything was right where it should be. I've had no drops, no server crashes. I've seen no frame drops at all in the campaign. I am playing on a 4090 on a pretty big rig, so your use case may vary based on your hardware, but it's a polished game. Zombies has been great, so I see the extra time that was put into this not coming out last year and coming out this year, so I think it's fantastic personally.
Interesting. David?
I just need to finish the campaign so I can judge it as a whole. Like it's like there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot that's hit in half of what I've played, and then I'm about to a mission that supposedly is one of the like key set piece missions that everyone has been lauding, and I'm like, I really want to play that and like see what everybody's talking about. But you feel like you're doing a lot of very different things, and this is a very different Call of Duty campaign with some of the variation that they've done in these levels. Like there's not to give away too much, but there's literally a level where you infiltrate a political campaign. Like
it's a good one.
You're not running and gunning. You're literally like doing almost spy work. So it also makes me curious as to what they might be setting up in the future with all the different rumors of like a Call of Duty, like more open world style game and different things like that have been brought up. Like I can see trappings here where it's like, okay, what are you hinting towards in the future? Especially, I mean, what if you tie some of this into Warzone? You know, we'll see.
So when you say you want to wait to judge it as a whole, when you say that as someone who's reviewing a game, looking at the game, does that mean to you that you're waiting for the total experience, or you're looking for the writing in the campaign or the gameplay set pieces? What are you actually speaking about?
I want to see the totality of like the completion of what this story is leading me to. Like, is there a satisfying payoff to what I'm doing? There's a lot of cool variety, but does that sustain itself throughout the entirety of this story, or am I going to be playing like, you know, mission, or am I going to repeat this exact same styles of missions as I play through the rest? Like, it so far what I'm playing is very, very good. I just want to see, like, does it elevate itself even greater as I finish it? Like that, it doesn't matter if you start strong if you don't finish strong. So
Logan, I was wondering, did you have any other thoughts on it as well?
I think the 9 is interesting because they've been very critical of past Call of Duties. So to see this and see that it's a 9 gives me the impression that they were really surprised by it. I'm curious what they ran into that didn't make it a masterpiece, because that's a 9's pretty high. It makes me wonder what didn't get it, what it was that didn't give it a 10. And I didn't want to read the review because I didn't want to kind of see like what other people's opinions were before I got a chance to really dive in. Plus I just wanted to actually jump in and actually play the game as opposed to reading about it all day. So I'm glad that they thought that it was a 9. I have definitely seen issues. Like I've definitely had the game crash on me a couple times. I've definitely had like some weird
You're playing
issues.
on what?
I'm playing on my PC.
Okay.
So definitely had the game crash on me a couple times. It's through the Xbox app, so it's not like Steam or something like that. But definitely run into issues where doing multiplayer, like someone will get disconnected and you have to back out of the match and then jump back in or re-queue. So I wouldn't say that it's a perfect game at the moment, but I would say that there's enough that is doing right here that I could see why IGN is justifying the 9 so far.
One of the things
also,
that I
think
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I also get annoyed when people score specific segments of a game.
Do you? I
don't
like that. You don't like that?
I like it's not the complete package. You're scoring one part of it. Like it would be like, again, it's like scoring just one set. It's like somebody going into a restaurant and only reviewing the broccoli,
the bread,
and not the steak, like that's on your plate. Like it's all on the same plate. You're scoring just one item on your plate. Like if I buy it for $70, I'm not buying only the campaign. I'm buying multiplayer. I'm buying zombies. Like you're giving me a 9. Like I agree, it could be a 9 on its own, but like I just don't like it because a lot of times is what ends up on Metacritic right away. So you know, that's kind of, let's just say you play the campaign and it's a 9, but then you go play zombies and multiplayer and it sucks. Like I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying if you go into those and they suck, then you bought it under the pretense of that 9.
So I will push back and then acknowledge I think part of your argument that's very relevant, which is the Metacritic aggregate. Like that factors in those elements. But as a consumer, I think it's useful to, if I only play zombies, if I only play campaign, if I only play multiplayer, which for some of these bigger games, Call of Duty, Halo, Gears, they have, especially in the Xbox community, now that I think about it, they have specific segmented, almost full games within their package, right? They've got a horde mode, zombies. They've got a multiplayer PvP element. They've got a campaign. And that's a big ask. I like knowing that, no, if I'm buying it for the campaign or going on Game Pass for the campaign, I'm going to have X experience or Y experience. I like that knowledge. The caveat, which I think you very well put, is when you're dealing with something like a Metacritic that people are just going to and not having the wherewithal to break down their own like views and just saying, okay, it's a 9. That does put a wrench in my own logic. And so I would ask anybody in chat, as well as those watching on VOD, leave a comment. But I'm curious, when you hear me thinking of it that way, does it change your opinion at all? Where do you guys fall on that outside of David's comment?
I prefer when they have like the different sections actually scored differently. So like if the campaign's a 9 and zombies is a 3, I'm gonna be kind of like wary because zombies is typically like where I like to go just to mess around and have fun. But I think that there's a lot to say when you are reviewing something and you want to call out when the studio is doing something good and doing something bad. Like it's great if the campaign is a 9, awesome. But if they're failing on zombies or if they're failing on multiplayer, those are large sections of the community that are purely just there for those. And I think it's fair for a studio to know, like, hey, you guys killed it on the campaign, you failed on multiplayer. Like it's the map pool is terrible, the guns don't feel right. Like you can have a great single player experience, but if the multiplayer experience is terrible or zombies is not well thought out, then I like having that kind of segregation of scores. You can still have like an overall aggregate of what your score is for the game overall, but having each section, as big as they are, split up helps me to know where the failings are in the game.
Bacon,
yeah, but in that you're just writing it that way though. Like I did the same thing with last year's Call of Duty. I called out pretty hard how the campaign was, but I love the multiplayer and love the zombies, so I spoke to that specifically in those sections because I do split up the sections of what I'm writing. And when it comes, Call of Duty is the only game I do that for, pretty much.
So how do you weigh the different sections when it comes to scoring?
I mean, it pretty much comes down to what I thought of each one. And it's kind of the same way I'm weighing, like, you know, if a game has performance issues, but the story's really good, or, you know, the narrative, like I've got to take it as a whole package. Like, what did each of these different factors influence? Which a lot of it is just, you know, guesswork. Like, honestly, there's a lot of times I go in and play a game for X amount of hours and I say, okay, this game feels like a this to me. And then as I play it and as I write it, I'm like, look, is this backing it up? Because some games get higher, like Arkham Shadow, for instance, ended up being a 9 out of 10. And I was thinking it was probably going to be 8 when I was first playing it. So it just, as I continued, it was like, okay, wait, the sum of its parts are better than that. So,
Bacon, how about you? What's your preference in this? And then I want to read some of our chat's comments as well.
I think it's tough because there's guys like your Randall Thors who refuse to play multiplayer and they're only going to play the campaign. And we all know that's where all the blood, sweat, and tears went into, is the campaign, the writing, the huge set pieces. So I believe the campaign deserves its own review score, just because there are going to be plenty of people that play it just for that. But when you put it as a whole and the entire $70 package for what you're getting with zombies, multiplayer, and campaign, I think there should be 2 different scores, like a total package score and then a campaign score, just because I'm in awe at the campaign right now, but I put over 20 hours so far into multiplayer. So it's tough because I was mad last year when they just reviewed just the campaign and gave it that really bad score and didn't factor into anything else, because you're like, oh, is this 5-hour campaigns all we're getting for our $70? But they weren't factoring in the zombies and the multiplayer at the same time. So that kind of made me mad last year. So I don't think there is a correct answer for this question, actually.
Fair point. I like the logic in that as well. I want to shout out Silkenit's comment and then follow up with Rick's. He said, that's why if I play it, it will be on Game Pass because only the campaign interests me. So I don't mind a campaign review only. Fair. Interesting take there. Let's see. It was Rick Davis that said, same. I don't care if multiplayer is the best or worst thing. I'll never touch it. So a broken up review is more valuable. I feel like both Silkenit and Rick are the types of fans that know what experience they want and seek out the information to support whether or not they should go in for that element of it. I don't know that every fan does, which is why I think, Bacon, you're right. Like, there's no right answer. But David, I appreciate the logic and the way you're going about, like, all right, when I write the review, I'm going to do it in sections, but it's an aggregate element. It's really,
It's also part of the media's race to be first. That's
true.
Also part of what it is.
That's very true. That's very true.
I think there's service in that, though. I think that there's a consumer incentive to be first. Like, people, it's Friday, people have $70 in their hand, they're ready to toss it at the screen and say, give me Call of Duty. But if IGN has a review out right then and that score is a 3, people are gonna pause. People are gonna hold off. If it says it's a 9, they can go read the review or not, and then they can kind of say, like, okay, well, I at least know that the campaign's going to be good, so I can try to justify that. So I don't disagree that it is like a race to world first when it comes to the reviews, because that's what people are going to be. I mean, we're talking about it right now, but I also think that is a good, a dangerous but also good consumer practice, because it's going to help consumers feel a little bit better, because they are having to dump that money if they don't have Game Pass on other consoles and stuff. Otherwise, just go play it on Game Pass.
So that's actually where I want to take the conversation, if you don't mind. Modern Warfare 3 was the first Call of Duty to release while Activision was under Xbox. Big deal. Everyone's excited. Didn't go into Game Pass. Also had a very disappointing campaign. I'm one of the few people that really enjoyed myself there.
I did too.
But, en masse, right? People were pretty down on that campaign. Interestingly, this is the first game from our first Call of Duty to launch into Game Pass, meaning that players on cloud and PC, as well as console for Game Pass, and then consoles elsewhere, PlayStation, have access to the campaign very readily, and the campaign rocks. The zombie mode is being very well received from what I can tell. Again, not having gone hands-on myself. How much do you think that makes a difference for Xbox in general? That the good one, if you want to look at it as reductively as that, is launching into Xbox. To be clear, I loved Modern Warfare 3, but common conception here, or common perception, I should say. How important is it that Black Ops is doing so well in these aspects, and that it's on cloud, Game Pass, console, etc.?
This is huge. I mean, this is exactly what we hoped with Starfield. This is exactly what we hoped with Halo Infinite and Redfall. Like, we want to have these really good games come to Game Pass. The fact that this is the one that comes to Game Pass and they're finally adding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 to cloud streaming. I mean, this is what they wanted. They wanted their best Call of Duty to be launching into Game Pass. And I think it's fair to say that this is going to be really a big telltale sign for future Call of Duties. If this does really, really well for Game Pass, then I think that we can all agree that there's a little bit of reassurance in that they will continue to release it. I think part of the problem that I'm seeing right now is that the Vault Edition, I think, is $30 to upgrade. And that's good. That gives you some skins, but they only have the endowment pack in the store right now, and the season isn't synced up with the launch. So if I wanted to throw money at Call of Duty because I'm on Game Pass and I feel like I'm getting my money's worth and I want to get some skins because I got some extra cash as a result, there's not a whole lot in there that you can really toss your money at. And I think that was a little bit of a misstep, but I think Xbox is hoping that people will actually just sign up for Game Pass as opposed to having to buy something in the store because they already got it. So
let me speak on that. Actually,
okay.
That this is normal for Call of Duty launches. That this has been what always happens. There's the endowment pack and there's nothing else. You usually don't see a big store update until season 1, and season 1's actually closer supposedly than it ever has been. It's supposed to be hitting like in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. And I realize that that's kind of the norm. I think I'm speaking to the fact that this is like the big opportunity for Xbox to capitalize on a lot of Game Pass people who aren't spending $70 on the game to be able to spend some money in the game and actually like say like, oh, this is a brand new Black Ops 6. All the skins are going to be fresh. Now would have been a good opportunity to kind of break a little bit of their tradition of just having the endowment pack and waiting for season 1. Cause I do see it's going to, like, I've been watching the countdown ticker on the current season, cause I'm not going to be able to finish it in time, especially now that Black Ops is out. I'm probably not going to go back, but I think it would be good for them to have like some extra things in the store to be able to like push out some skins for folks, especially since we're still within like Halloween time frame. Some of the packs that they had for Modern Warfare 3, I think would have been fun to be able to add into Black Ops 6, but I think the Vault Edition's their kind of version of that right now.
Which, not to hold up the conversation for too long, but the endowment pack, please. I know it costs real money, people. It's not COD points. Please buy it. It is, the Call of Duty Endowment is one of the best organizations out there. 100% of what they get back profit wise out of that pack goes to help veterans get jobs. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that it's actually 100% of the proceeds. Activision actually covers the costs of operating the endowment so that all the money they earn can actually go where it's supposed to go. So please do that. I've spoken with their president. I've done an interview with him. It's a fantastic organization and you should support it.
I'll echo that to say, living in a military town, many of my students' parents are deployed. Many of the families I interact with are soldiers or connected heavily. They have commented on this before, which means something, because nobody just brings up Call of Duty, right? Like, although I will say this is funny, like, totally separate. Go support the endowment. Yes. Separately, my students know that I have a channel, that I know that I get to sometimes play things and go on events and stuff. I wore my like patches jacket, the one that they were kind enough to give us. When they saw the Call of Duty logo there, they're like, Mr. Lohr, are you going to play Call of Duty? I was like, I have it. Yeah, I do. And they're like, did you buy the Vault Edition? I was like, they sent it to me. And they were like, Mr. Lohr, sponsored by Xbox. I was like, well, not actually. Okay. Like, all right. And they were like, how do I get a jacket? And I was like, oh my God. Because they've known for weeks. That's how I know they don't listen to me. That's how I know they never listen, because they've known for months that I do this. But it was funny because they were all so excited. But I bring that up because I work with military connected kids, but also Call of Duty matters to these kids. Call of Duty is important. We talk about Fortnite and the olds and the youngs and the youth. They were all getting Call of Duty this weekend. Like probably 60 different kids commented to me on Friday. That's wild.
I don't know how people are surprised, because it's literally annually the best selling game.
Mm-hmm. I will say that the endowment pack, which is called Endeavor, if you're in Black Ops 6 and you're a sweat, it's the closest to Black Noir that you're gonna get so far. Nice. So
I know what I'm running.
Yeah, if you wanna run full black in your multiplayer, that's the skin to do it. I haven't seen anyone really running around with it because I think folks are still working on other things. But yeah, that is very much. And I just picked mine up because I'd been meaning to. But yeah, that is going to be the closest to Black Noir you're going to be able to get for now.
Love it. Gentle Stone in chat saying, tell them to wait for a Luke Lohr skin. Nice. Roberto.
Oh.
All right, so hold on, David. I want to check. Roberto bought the endowment pack. Love that. Gentle Stone saying it's pretty awesome. Props to Activision for supporting their community. Yes. David, what is it that you... I'm going to see if I want to push this. Hold on. Hold it up again. What is that, David?
Activision, when I was at Call of Duty Next, they scanned me and in tactical gear and sent us 3D printed figures of ourselves. Oh, wow. So we have our own operators. It is on my desk permanently now.
I don't blame you. That's so cool. So let me ask you, final thoughts here, guys. Do you expect to see a Game Pass kick up because of Black Ops? Because that's the master question behind all of it. If this doesn't work to push Game Pass subs, I don't think anything will, and I think Xbox will change strategies. And we've seen them changing strategies several times over in the last 2 years. So do you expect Game Pass to kick up at all as a result of Black Ops 6?
I don't think we're ever going to know because Microsoft really hasn't ever given us concrete numbers on Game Pass subscribers, right? Only way we're ever going to tell is the icons in the pre-match lobbies. I'm trying to figure all those out because I have a PC and then an Xbox sign next to all ours on the nerd chat, so I can't tell if that's PC Game Pass or because I'm sure Steam has a different.
Steam is just the base logo as far as the PC is.
And then I can tell the PlayStation ones because we were in a lobby last night with all PlayStation guys and we smashed them. The nerd chat did. So I don't think Microsoft really cares. I mean, they win either way. Like us here on the nerd chat, we all four bought the Vault Edition and we're all Game Pass subscribers. So they made $240 off solely the nerd chat alone. On this weekend, and now I'm going to go buy the endowment pack. Being a veteran myself, I'm not sure why I haven't bought that yet.
Bacon, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's
Thank you for your service, man. I had no idea. That means a lot. Thank you.
Sitting above me, I have my mom's military shadow box with all her awards and her flag, and picture of her sits right above my desk right here. So, military is big in my family. We've pretty much all served. So, it's I don't back to the original point. I think Microsoft doesn't care. You can either buy the game for $70 or you can subscribe to Game Pass. They're winning either way, and it really doesn't matter to them. They want engagement. They want monthly active users, and they're getting all that wrapped in this package. So it's a great game, and it's what we've been waiting for in Game Pass for quite some time. You know, all of us Game Pass subscribers, this game didn't hit. This game was mid. This game was lukewarm. But this is the one game that can hit and completely change things for everyone involved. And I hope we get more Game Pass subscribers because it's an absolute fantastic value. Because I'm going to follow that up with Stalker, and then I'm going to follow it up with Indiana Jones. So my Game Pass subscription for the year, even though it's been light early in the year, is going to be hitting big time these last 3 months of the year. So I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with Bacon. I mean, it'll get a kick. It's just more at the point of doesn't matter to them at this point, because we already heard what Nadella said the other day about the ecosystems. Like anybody who thinks that a lot of these games are not eventually going to hit PlayStation on some way or form probably will. But at this point, who cares? As long as they keep supporting stuff with Game Pass. I do think Call of Duty is a lot bigger for pulling those people away from Game Pass console, though. It's actually more important to get people into Ultimate and get them off of that tier, because you can have Game Pass for console, but the problem is without Ultimate, you can't play online.
Yep.
So you're going to have to change your sub.
That's a good point.
The Call of Duty guys are always like, I was talking with somebody the other day. It's like could either spend $240 a year for Game Pass and I don't get to technically keep the game. I know blah, 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 all the different stuff. Or I could pay $70 and then $80 for an online subscription, and just a lot of the people in COD just play COD. They don't care if they have a library of games to play. So a lot of people, they'll buy COD, they'll buy their online subscription. They won't even care about it. It's the same people that do the same thing with Madden every year, that do it with college football. Like I know that people talk about EA Play as a good entry level, but like if it's last year's game, these people don't care. They've had that game for a whole year. They don't care.
Yep. Logan, you wanted to make a big point?
2 points now, actually. I agree, because World of Warcraft fans are the same way. Like, World of Warcraft is the game that they play. They will spend the $70 for the digital deluxe expansion pack. They'll buy the $15 a month subscription fee, and they just released a mount in the game that costs $90. And people have been buying it in droves. Like,
I think I saw that.
I have seen screenshots.
Yeah, Clint put that in our Discord,
Clint
right?
He put a screenshot of people like in that. If you count how many there are, there's a couple grand in that screenshot just for that mount. But this is it's one of those things where it's like, that is what the community does, and people will look at that and scoff and think $90 for a DLC for a mount. But if you play World of Warcraft and you see the functionality that mount brings you, and you're just like, yeah, no, this saves me a ton of time and effort, I'm 100% going to do it. And it makes complete sense. It's like playing a survival game and having a mount that gives you access to all of your supplies and all of your crafting situations, and you don't have to go back to your base to do it. It's like, that's a no-brainer. So that was the one point that I wanted to kind of echo off of David's comment, because I 100% agree with him on that one. The other one is if you drink Monster or Little Caesars pizza, I'm going to let you know right now. I love you.
Monster either.
I love you, and I think that you're a wonderful human being. And I understand that you don't want those Call of Duty codes. Mm-hmm. If you don't, I will be the bearer to burden that for you. You're more than welcome to DM me in Discord what those codes are. I can redeem one a day. If you have any trouble, and I know Joseph over on the PlayStation Trophy Room, he's fleecing his community. I'm not here for that. If you want to give them to me, that is completely up to you. I will happily take those codes, because my girlfriend is 5 levels ahead of me in experience, because she got to play for an hour before I did, and I would love to catch up with her. So I'm not saying I need them. I am saying I'm eating a lot of unhealthy food right now.
I despise Little Caesars in all things. And the fact that now it's an emote for our channel members offends me to no end. But there it is. There it is. I put it in there for you guys. God, we need, actually, side note, we need more emote ideas. So please let me know, and I will start making them as my time is freeing up a bit. But God, Little Caesars, gross.
My Monster account is borked for some reason, so I've got like 2. I've had a couple mess ups with my receipts, but none of them have gone through. They're all pending, and they've been pending for like a week. So I'm very mad right now because support has not gotten back with me. But I am running around with my which skin is it? The Little Caesars skin.
I haven't gotten the skin yet. I've only gotten bonuses, so. I think that goes till the end of the year, actually. So there's plenty of time if people end up, if you happen to spend, $3 and you see that code and you're just like, I would throw this away, but I remember I want to keep Logan healthy and not having to eat little Caesars all the time. I will help you with that.
See, what you do is you go in there and you just buy 2 Mountain Dews or something like that, like something you normally drink. You just go get your drink there.
That's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all, actually. David's a thinker.
Big brain.
I do want to say very quickly, you mentioned something, Bacon, like you're getting your Game Pass money just from Indiana Jones, COD, and I think you said one other game.
Stalker,
right.
Yeah.
The amount of games I've played this year, thanks to Game Pass, is remarkable. And I know the longtime listeners, like I wax poetic because I loved Flintlock and I loved what is it, Still Wakes the Deep, and I like Kinetsugami. Like I played like back to back Game Pass games. I think Lords of the Fallen was in there, but you're right. Just
Dead
these three big games. Dead Island, that one launched in there.
It's coming to PC, so
they've been treating their players well.
Like for me being only on PC, I could easily downgrade to the PC only Game Pass tier and still get all these perks. But I keep Ultimate just because I feel it's such a good value. I don't stream. I don't use. I mean, hopefully now when our back catalog comes on, we're able to stream those because I left a lot of games on my Xbox I didn't finish. I'm kind of keeping Ultimate for that reason, but I could easily go down to the $11 a month tier, but I choose to stay on Ultimate because I still think it's such a fantastic value that I get for $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than okay. And I've been a full price Game Pass member since 2018, 2017, whatever it was. I had the 6 months that I rolled over. And then since then I've been full price just because I find it such a great value, and adding in a game I buy every single year, like Call of Duty, it's a no brainer.
Yep. Putting the link for Little Caesars up there. I agree. It's a no-brainer. I'm right in there with you.
I'm really curious how the sales are going to look this year. Like that's actually something that really makes me intrigued as a numbers guy, that I love seeing it. Like this year has not been big for like ridiculous sales on games like it was like last year where there was all kinds of stuff. But like I'm curious what ends up like on Circana, whatever you go with, but the number one spot for sales, like COD should still take it. I don't think there's any game that came out this year that's big enough to overtake it, but like in a year next year when you've got GTA and all this stuff, how much will it be dwarfed because an entire section of your community isn't paying for Call of Duty? I'm just very intrigued as to, because that's the moneymaker. That Activision's the reason your ledger looks really good right now. Like, you got to make that money somewhere.
Yep. Fully agree, man. Fully agree. Well, guys, I want to encourage all of you to not spend money on Little Caesars, and thank those of you that have been supporting XEP by way of Patreon and channel memberships. It really does help tremendously. It looks like we're going to be purchasing Dragon Age Veilguard for coverage. And it helps out with stuff like that. It helps out with Podbean. It helps out with so many of the different things. And Logan, if you don't mind, I'd like to read the names this week, if you'd be so kind.
Go for it.
Thank you to our tier 2 and 3 patrons. You get to be part of our community in Discord. Every patron gets to be part of our Discord community, which is wonderful. And then we read our tier 2 and 3 patrons. So if you'll allow me, thank you to Edward, Nicholas Johnson, Ellery Woods Parker III, Rob Frawley II, Tal Zochi, Randall Thor 19, Silkenet, African, aka Charles Jones, Game Positive, Jam Pack Sam, Matt Valdez, Rick Davis, Red Beast, Xbox Mike 29, the Lord Sir Master James Suddy, Brendan Myers, aka the Winter Gamer, Sony's VP of Marketing Kevin Butler, Clint Coombs, DJ Hero, and Dano12. Thank you guys so much for supporting XEP. I can't say enough how much it helps and it matters, because podcasting, like all things, is an expensive element. And when you put your hard-earned dollars towards supporting your content creators and the content you appreciate, it really does help. And that goes for all the gaming community and whatnot. So we appreciate you guys. Alrighty, my friends. As excited as we are for Call of Duty, of course, there are some Xbox hardware announcements that came out this past week, which I thought was interesting. I saw, by the way, David, you and Jam Pack Sam and Danny Pena and Khalifa Adams and several others got these really cool Call of Duty care packages, which included a controller, which I thought was really beautiful. There were Black Ops 6 wraps. Yeah, he's going to get it. Fantastic. I'll solo show you. There were Call of Duty wraps at $54.99, which I thought was interesting. Hold it up one more just for a second. There it is. Good. That looks beautiful, that is David.
So dope.
That is beautiful. That
you
is
can make
fantastic.
them too. Oh, like they have the Call of Duty.
You can
stuff.
Get them on the design store.
That's amazing. That's beautiful.
I really get a Call of Duty 6 Black Ops 6 Elite controller if you really want to.
Which, let me show this one off. This is the one I'm actually using right now.
Let me put you up on the Garrett. Okay, go ahead. That is neat too. I like the purple.
This is the Victrix.
Yeah, you can change it. Oh wow.
It's got like 5 different key locks for your triggers, and then of course the back buttons. I love this thing. It's got Hall effect sticks too.
Would you mind sending me a link to that one? I'd like to look into that one. I don't know if I'd get it right now, just because, like I said, money's tight. But I might put that on my Christmas list. I love the embedded back buttons.
That one has replaceable thumbstick modules and stuff too, right? You can.
It actually has a fight pad.
And a fight pad. Yep.
Please do send me that link, because I'll put that on my Christmas list. I really do think that one looks beautiful.
Yeah, they put one out. It was originally only for PlayStation, and now they have an Xbox one.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. I'm gonna look into that because that one's beautiful. I've been using my Starfield controller lately because in Dead by Daylight it's very bumper heavy. It's very bumper heavy, and my right bumper on the Elite is starting to wear. And I have found that to be an issue with my Elite Core, is that the bumpers start to go, and that's a bummer. So
I didn't realize this had textures grips on the back.
Yeah.
It's kind of standard now, actually.
I've noticed that as well. I like
the
that.
Sky Sapphire ones all come with the textured grips now.
It's
cool.
It's
nice. I'm thinking they need to start moving into those modular controllers, like just in general. I think that those are actually like where everyone's going to want to gravitate towards.
There is, I see Trophy Room, which is Joseph Moran, my son, in chat saying that there's a PlayStation version of that controller. There are actually quite a few PlayStation, just in general.
They sell a lot of hardware, those guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of different versions. And Joe, I just forwarded you something from Hex Gaming. They have a really interesting
I
controller.
reviewed that.
Do you have that?
I don't have it with me right now, unfortunately, but yeah, I did review that one. It's a really good controller.
Yeah. I don't think we chart enough, but I did request a coverage one, and Joe, I forwarded you that email just to see if we could try that one out, because I think controllers are this really fascinating in between for gamers, because as I age up, my reactions are slower, and little things like moving my thumb across the controller, it sounds so silly to say out loud, but it does matter to have a back button. It's much easier on my hands. So I like that. That's becoming more of a trend.
Sam and I talked about that this morning, like the fact that like it changed the way I played, being able to like jump and slide around because I can keep aiming and keep tracking who I'm going after while doing it.
Yep. Very nice.
I actually wanted to ask you, David, do you know if the back buttons are programmable as independent keybinds, or are they just remappers?
I'm not sure if you can do anything different in the software on PC. Obviously, if you can program everything just right from the controller, but that would be only specific keybinds. But I don't remember on PC if you can go a little bit deeper. You might be able to, but I don't know for sure. It does have it is different than most in the sense of there's a switch on it between PC, PS5, and PS4. So since you can specifically change it to a PC mode, that might actually open up more.
That's kind of my main concern with a lot of the controllers is like we're getting the Hall effect sticks, we're getting the modular designs, we're getting the back buttons built in. The main thing right now is that a lot of PC players rely on multiple keybinds because we have more keys on the keyboard. Having access to the back buttons as independent keybinds is, I think, the next evolution of controllers, to have like the ability to add 4 additional buttons to the back that are beyond just the remappings of the other buttons is going to be big for this, especially for something like Call of Duty when you have like so many little options.
I totally lost what I was going to say, so I'm just going to move on because I totally completely blanked.
I'm curious about Bacon. Like, what are your thoughts on like the hardware and stuff? Because there's some other pieces that we got as well. But what are you thinking as far as like the wrap not being dead? I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, I got the Starfield wrap originally, and then I sold it when I sold my Xbox to a friend's nephew. I thought the wraps were dead as well, and then they brought this one back. I think they look incredible. That controller might make me go out and buy a standard controller again. I use the Razer Chroma V3.
Nice.
Which is absolutely the best controller ever made. I will say that. Is it the hardware we all wanted? Do we all want the next gen Xbox or a rumor of a handheld? No, but to go along with the launch of the biggest game of the year, having stuff to add to that, I think is absolutely awesome.
It really is. It really
Can
is.
I go back to the Call of Duty thing that I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this, because I haven't thought about this until last night, but this is the first Call of Duty that I can recall that has launched on both PlayStation and Xbox at the same time. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Really?
Yeah. PlayStation users usually get like a week early access.
Really?
No,
It's
not correct. No,
I don't think so.
they never
I
have.
think you're thinking about the betas. You're thinking about
beta,
betas.
yeah.
Betas? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
never
this
mind
was
then.
the first year the beta was on every platform, though. So you are right, at least in that. Yeah. But yeah, no, the actual launch was right.
Fair.
But I will
Never
tell
mind.
you, at the lunch table, all the kids make fun of me because they're on PlayStation and they get bonus XP perks that I don't get. And I think it's ridiculous. They pick on me. Yeah,
Well,
they
now
like
they'll just make fun of
definitely.
you because they'll go to Little Caesars and get it now.
Yeah. But they did used to like remind me in like when we talk about Mr. Lord, did you get this skin? And I was like, yeah, I bought that one. He goes, oh, it just came with PlayStation Plus. I was like, shut up, Jaden. You're not nice. You're so mean. Like it's funny because how much the PlayStation Xbox stuff like matters to some communities. Because if you are a kid who can't just buy what you want and you've got PlayStation Plus, you're getting those perks, right? And so now go to Little Caesars, get your code. That's interesting. The Xbox wireless headset got a nice little refresh, and I say nice with an asterisk because I don't know enough about it to say it is or isn't nice. But Dolby Atmos is now included, but they did bump the price up $10. I thought that was interesting because Logan, you were telling me in our chat that Dolby Atmos was always something you could just purchase as like a software upgrade.
Yeah.
I use SteelSeries right now. I've tested Turtle Beaches. I think David and I are wearing the same SteelSeries headset, but I do not have the Xbox headset refresh. What did you think, David? Look at lead editor at GamingTrend.com having all this stuff. What you got, man?
What are you talking about?
I thought
this
you
is just like walnuts.
Oh, I thought you were like, look at this new
going for the
controller.
headset.
Look at this headset. I thought you had it. Okay.
Luke,
All right.
Luke,
I mean,
we
no,
have-
I actually do have that headset upstairs, not the new one, but I have the old one upstairs.
Gotcha.
So I'll actually open this up to for the discussion. I'm curious what you guys think because when I saw the refresh, I was genuinely hoping that this was going to be like a proper refresh. From what I can tell, all they've done is really kind of address some of the auto mute feature on the microphone. The microphone's supposed to be a little bit better because I definitely got complaints from people who could tell like I was on my Xbox headset versus like other headsets and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we can definitely tell. But there was definitely like some issues where it would pick up a lot of background noise if I said something, but then there was like something loud in the background, like the sink or something, like water running. It would stay open and pull in that audio, even if it was like a room away. And I'm like, I was a little annoyed by that. The Dolby Atmos thing is weird because they bumped up the price $10, but Dolby Atmos was just a one-time purchase on my Xbox for $10. And that gave me access to Dolby Atmos through my Xbox wireless headset as well too. And I only paid the original price for it. The biggest issue that I'm running into is that it doesn't look like they've done anything to address the cosmetic concerns. Because I know like me and Suddy, our friend who's also been using one for a long time, the pleather that is on the ear cups has been ripping and coming away from the actual headset. I've seen a lot of people who have had the microphone arm where it connects up to the headset actually crack from just normal use. And I'm just kind of curious, like why they didn't look to do anything to address some of the actual like hardware concerns that I think I've seen a lot of people talk about as far as like the cosmetics or just the actual plastic itself. Like they've tried to keep it budget, but there's some issues that I've had with this, and I think I got mine when it first came out, so back in like 2020 or 2021, and I've used it a decent amount, but it hasn't been like a whole lot of time that I've been using that. So what do you guys think as far as your experience with them? Have you used them much? Have you used them a lot? Like how are they holding up this far into the generation?
I had the original one. I was excited, got it on launch day, pre-ordered everything. It was my favorite headset until I got the BioPlay portals. But when I was using the Xbox headset, when I was just taking them off once like this, it broke right here on my headband. Like, and it wasn't even that much force. Headset still worked and still worked fine. But as far as comfort wise and usability, it was probably my favorite just Xbox headset ever. I absolutely love those. I love the big dials on the ear cups for the adjustments and stuff. I actually quite loved it. And this new update is, for $10 more. I wonder if they're just giving you a Dolby Atmos key that you could also use on PC like I do, because I used my old Dolby Atmos key and got it on PC as well. So I know Dan was always complaining on our chat about his big old ears not fitting in those ear cups. My ears fitting them fine. I found that headset incredibly comfortable. So I didn't have any complaints other than, of course, it breaking up top. But I guess that's just my big head.
Unacceptable.
I'm looking around my basement and I see like including this, I've got like, actually, no, I look right there. There's 5 different brands of headsets surrounding me right now. But I actually really like
review elements, though. I want to be like, you would not buy 5 headsets, right?
No, I would not buy 5 headsets. Okay. I like cool headsets, but I'd have to get a deal on one at this point. But The Xbox headset I actually did buy, and I really liked using it with my PC. It worked really, really well. I'm pretty sure at that point I was using a streaming mic, though. I didn't use the normal mic with it. I thought they sounded really, really great, and then I was converted to the Church of Steel series, and I never want to use other headsets as my main again, because between this and SteelSeries Sonar, it's just so ridiculously good. I mean, the fact that I've got instant EQ to play anything, and it's made by pro players, everything just sounds fantastic. So yeah,
I'm a SteelSeries. I prefer SteelSeries myself.
Yep.
So that begs the question, and the reason I mentioned the whole like, well, you have 5 headsets because you cover stuff. We're content creators, David. Obviously, you specialize in having to review those things, but this Xbox wireless refresh is $110. Is there a market for $110 headset versus like the 60s and the 200s? I don't know that there is that a sweet spot for people. Obviously, I have a biased content creator asking for coverage, trying to do stuff like that. Like, so I don't know that I'm the right person to ask, but I don't know if that's like, do you go spend $110 on a headset, or do you spend $200, or do you spend $60? What's the right?
Well, I mean, there's people that want high end but don't want to spend high end. So,
but
if you can get the appearance, all it has to be is the appearance of it. A lot of people don't know the differences because they're not using a bunch of other headsets. So if you can get something that's officially from the manufacturer and it's more expensive and it looks good, and of course Dolby Atmos, that does give them a boost because it's a good sound thing to use. But like, that's really what ends up happening is you got people who they want the higher end, and that is representative to them of the higher end. But headsets have changed a lot too, in the sense of there's everyone, it feels like, has a headset. Like I remember back in the day when we first got Turtle Beaches at GameStop and had to redesign our wall for that. Like that was like, oh wow, gaming headsets. Like that wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing for the longest. That you had to be like a COD Sweat to pick up a Turtle Beach, and that was the only brand pretty much that existed. And then it got crazy, and now it's everywhere.
And I used to love Turtle Beach.
What was the headset? The Stealth 600 that I did.
This
I
is
liked
the
it.
700, I think.
Wow,
Yeah,
I like that look.
It's
Still got the Stealth Ultra sitting right in front of me.
It's
that
over there.
controller's good.
Yeah. Stealth Ultra.
I love that. I thought, honestly, I'm just gonna plug Logan's content creation for a second. Like, he did the review of that controller for us, and I thought that was your best work. Like your best. That was just, I think, your best work, Logan. It was really cool to see.
I would love to try some other controllers too, because this one is a much better investment, I think, than what I've gotten with my Elite. Just, and I think because of the bumper issues. So, but that and the Hall effect sticks.
That's just how you get those nice Hall effects.
Yeah, makes a big difference. But yeah. The reason I wanted to kind of talk about the headset is because I feel like there is a price difference going into this, and I think that the Xbox wireless headset did a really good job of capitalizing on something that we all had trouble with when the console first came out, which was everyone's on Discord, but Discord isn't on Xbox. So we all needed to have that controller to be able to have a pairing up to our phone for Bluetooth and a pairing up to our device for game audio. And it blended it really, really well. Did a pretty good job with that. Now that Discord is built into the console, it's a lot less of a value add to me, which is why it's surprising that they are doing the refresh on the microphone and not trying to actually like invest more into the actual hardware of the controller, because I've seen a lot of people, especially in the comments around this, talking about how the plastic does not hold up and the earpieces tend to rip or tear away too often. And I was like, that's a shame, because I think that could have been a good refresh for them.
I actually have a thought for you on this, because it's just the timing. What better timing to put out a refresh for your headset, get it everywhere, get people talking about it than when the biggest multiplayer game is coming to Game Pass.
They should have done
Free money. Tweak it, add Dolby Atmos.
I don't know why they didn't do because they did it for Starfield. And it worked out. It worked really, really well. Like the aesthetic of the Starfield headset and controller sold just based on the aesthetic alone. Didn't matter what the game was. The controller and the headset looked amazing. They already did it for the controller. So why didn't they do it for the headset? Because they just
maybe
refreshed.
They couldn't find a design that worked right, that didn't seem too busy. Because that I could see that design being a little busy on a headset where it wouldn't be as busy on a controller.
Does that factor in as much? Am I missing?
I feel like for well, if sometimes people like to take their headsets and use them outside of just playing a video game.
All right. On the bus and on the airplane. Yeah.
Starfield looks clean, whereas that would be real busy.
That's a good point. Interesting.
Yeah.
Boys, I am stoked for to jump into COD today. Like, I'm excited to do that. You guys have got me rallied for it. I don't know if I have interest in the wrap or the controller or the headset, but I have interest in the controller. But I don't know that it's going to sway me on it right now. That said, the one that I'm like, the one thing I'm debating spending some serious money on is Dragon Age, which comes out in less than a week now. I don't know. I loved that art style when I saw it. And I think I'm clearly the outlier amongst Dragon Age fans, because I'm not a big Dragon Age person, but I am really excited for Veilguard, and I don't know why. And I'm curious what your hype levels are, and chat the same to you. But like, what are your hype levels for Dragon Age, given that it's right around the corner?
I am not looking at it because I've been seeing a lot of advertising for it. And the advertising is actually really good. Like it's compelling. Because I watch Hulu, and it's spooky season, so we've been watching a lot of stuff on Hulu for scary stuff. And the ads that pop up for it, I've got them down like memorized now. But every time I look at like the way the combat is designed with the party system, that's the part that turns me off. If it played a little bit closer to like Elden Ring, or I'll even toss in like Monster Hunter, then they might be able to get me. But I'm going to wait until I see some reviews come out for it, because I'm not quite at the hype level, and I've got plenty of COD on my plate right now, as well as Starship Troopers, to kind of have that desire to run and gun, but also have some strategy built in. Whereas this is a little bit more of a fantasy version of that.
Understanding in chat saying, I'm buying Dragon Age. It wasn't a game I was expecting to be interested in, but it looks really good. Gentle Stone, very interested in Dragon Age. Rick Davis, already pre-ordered my copy on Steam. What about you, Bacon? Where are you at for this one?
Initially I was kind of getting hyped for it, and then I saw the art design that kind of turned me off, but then I've heard from the previews stuff that's intriguing to me. So this is one of the ones where I'm not a Dragon Age guy. I've played a little bit of, I can't remember which one. I'm not a Dragon Age guy, so I have to look at it through a different lens. Not that I don't like the games, I've just never really played the games. So this is one where I'm going to fall back on ACG and guys like that I truly trust with their reviews to see if it's something I'm going to want to play. Like, I do have a pretty full plate right now. But I am looking for a game to sink some time into, like Elden Ring, like the 300 plus hours I have in that game, stuff like that. A long-term play in between matches of Call of Duty and stuff like that. So I'm like 70% there. I'm right there. I just need to hear and see a few things for some of these independent reviews that will really push me over the edge to get me to buy it.
Gotcha. David, I saved you for last because I don't know. Are you covering it? Are you able to talk about it? If you
big old zero in interest on mine.
Okay, gotcha.
I tried to get into one. I tried to get into two. It just did not work. That said, we will have a review on GamingTrend. We've got two people really hard at work making sure that happens. So stay tuned.
Gotcha. Fair enough. I don't think XEP for any listener, like, obviously I tell you guys when we get codes, I don't think XEP landed one for that. It looks like we lost David. Interesting. So if we do end up doing coverage, that'll be thanks to you guys. I would like to take a minute now, if you guys will indulge me, to talk about my MetaQuest 3. And I know that is not necessarily Xbox specific, though I did try the cloud gaming and it's awesome. But because it's hardware that I've never put hands on before until now, I would like to know. I want to talk about it first, but I'm curious. Do either of you, Logan or Bacon, have interest in VR?
Yeah.
Logan, I know your answer, but talk to me about the for the audience.
Yeah, no, I mean, I bought the PSVR too. I unfortunately can't do smooth motion when it comes to VR, which is the process of being able to just move forward with a control stick to simulate you walking in VR. It makes me nauseous and overheated, and it really sucks. So I was like really bummed when I got to Ghostbusters, the Spirit Lord game, and it was like you could kind of like do the point and traverse method in that game, but the way the levels were designed, you had to like actually run to be able to get out of like auras that were killing you.
Right.
And I was just like, I can't do it, man. It really bums me out. So I honestly have been the two games. No, the one game that I really live in with VR is Beat Saber. And I'm honestly thinking about selling my PSVR 2 and the nice little headset, like controller, like thing that I got for it, and getting rid of that because Sony hasn't supported that very well. I don't have a God of War game where I get to throw an axe, the Leviathan axe, and get it back. I can't do Blades of Chaos in VR. So the hardware is worthless to me at this point outside of Beat Saber. So that coupled with like all the games that have been coming out on the Quest that are not on the PSVR 2 because the market is so small and everyone's going to the Quest. I'm just like, I might as well just sell this thing and get like a proper VR headset and having the Quest 3S coming in at that introductory like 300. There's a little hidden costs in there with like the headset band and like extra memory, lenses.
Yeah, you have to have a headset band.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden costs that are not like talked about too often with the VR headset with the Quest. Like especially like if you're going to get prescription lenses, if you're going to get the headset band, if you're going to get like the link to be able to get up to your PC, if that's still a thing. Like there's so many little things that you have to research when you're going into that are still kind of preventing me from pulling the trigger on that. But I'm glad that you've been having a really good time with it. But I think VR is a really interesting space. I think it's true that it's still a very niche and very ableist kind of market at the moment, because even me, who just has vision impairment issues, still can't do smooth motion movement in VR. And that's just that limits what I can play, because I can only play certain things for some time before I just get too sick. And that's rough.
I do.
So Logan, you haven't tried that on your PC yet, your PSVR 2?
I won't, because I'm not going to invest further into the hardware.
Yeah, I was interested in it, but they gimped it so bad with that PC integration. They took away a lot of the features. So
Yeah.
For me, I'm interested in it, but I'm a guy who doesn't do anything in half measures. So I'm going to buy the treadmill. I'm going to get the Vive and have all the sensors around my room, because when I do something, I do it full freaking speed. And that's just not an investment I'm willing to make, because it is niche. And shout out to Logan for using the proper pronunciation of the word niche. Guys that say niche doesn't.
I can't stand it. Right? It's niche. It's
niche.
Who in their right mind says it not niche?
Everybody.
Listen to podcasts. It's 50-50.
Everybody.
Niche and niche. And it drives me up a wall. Anyway, it's something I'm interested in, but again, it's just I'm looking at well over $2,000. I don't even know how much those treadmills are. I've seen Asa from Game On Daily, or whatever he is now, doing Skyrim with this treadmill, and he looks like he's having a blast. But I can never justify that at this point. So
I think I would have to do the treadmill if I was going to be able to do smooth motion, because I have to physically be moving, or I
feel
get
like you're going somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the treadmill just because I have had so much fun with this Quest 3S. And for listeners that are unfamiliar, the Quest 3S is kind of like the Series S of MetaQuests. Like it's a genuine nice comparison because the MetaQuest 3 is more like the Series X, but it has been just this wonderful experience for me I've never put on a headset before. This was my first one. And so I don't have a unit of measure to compare the 3S to, but for all intents and purposes, I've gone down this deep rabbit hole of just learning VR. And I've found that the 3S has, not only is it serving me well, it's serving a lot of people well. It comes with Arkham Shadow, which is a great game. I'm 2 hours in and just loving it. And I'm exploring this world of games that have been created 5 years ago and got in Quest refreshes, like games like Vader Immortal, which clearly are dated, but the tracking and the lightsaber stuff feels fantastic, which is really neat. So like I'm playing games that look old, but still feel really good in the Quest. Arkham is this modernized game. Playing these shooters has been wonderful. Thanks to the referral system, I was able to get Resident Evil 4 at no cost because it's on sale right now. And so thanks to Saborito again for his referral on the unit, I had $30 in the store. The game was 20. Snag that. Like it's been really cool to see this world, and then to try something like Xbox Cloud Gaming, where I get this 120-inch screen to play my games with, which is fascinating, and I'm really appreciating that. So I just really want to plug it as an option and something to explore, because the 3S is $300. You don't need a PC. It's completely standalone. You don't have to plug it up to anything else. And the controllers are fantastic. It's lightweight. I did get an extra strap to make it a little more useful.
How much?
Was the strap 40?
Yeah.
40?
Okay.
I think. And then I spent, I think, 20 to get some straps that go over the controller, because it comes with like Wiimote lanyard style, which don't feel as good if you're punching. And I'm the guy, I don't know if it's because I'm a martial artist or I'm a dork, but I punch with proper form.
Probably both.
Probably, but because like, no, you have to rotate. Don't punch with your back. Like I punch the way I was trained, and so it's hard to use the sticks and the buttons and the triggers and stuff while punching properly. So I wanted to not accidentally drop the stuff, and so because I go all in on it because I'm that guy. So I was gifted a $300 headset, Logan. And then I think I've put 110 of my money in to get all the stuff that I've gotten. Because the third party stuff is very like Kiwi's a wonderful group and stuff. And so I think if the hidden costs of like, getting any new hardware to experience it properly, you'd probably spend a decent like extra 150 probably. Yeah. But the referral systems that Meta does allow you to have some nice leeway. I picked up some games because of that, because it gives you Quest money, and it's just there it is. So hey, real quick, I don't want to miss this. Game Positive came in and dropped a $6.99 Canadian dollar super chat. I think it's a $5 super chat, saying lapsed COD fan who only installed Black Ops 6 because of Game Pass, and now I'm addicted, eating Little Caesars and drinking Monsters for double XP. Please help. Thank you for the super chat. That is healthy. So appreciated. I really, you keep the show going, but now you're not healthy, and enjoy Black Ops, my friend.
It's not healthy, but neither is the XP rate in Call of Duty.
Slow.
Like am I gonna get up to Prestige 4 to get my Nuketown skin faster so I can go outside and actually like breathe fresh air and touch grass? Yes. Yeah. Do I have to eat crappy pizza and like drink Monster Energy drink to get there faster? I do. I'm not happy about that, but you know what, we all make little sacrifices in life. Sometimes I don't want to have to clean the litter box, but I also don't like the way it smells, so I'm gonna make sure that I clean the litter box. It's terrible, but I can't get the $700 litter robot 4 yet.
The only thing relevant to that is the poop relationship between your cat, and Little Caesars quality pizza. I tried to make that a joke. I feel like we all know where I was trying to get, right? Let's just take it like we knew what I meant.
You're weaving.
Yeah. I kind of got there.
Back. It's weave. What's frustrating is I have a whole bunch of double XP tokens saved from previous seasons, and we can't even use those right now. So it's just straight up a grind
It's
to
nice that
grind
those
up
will
right
come
now.
back with Warzone.
Right. I have like 30 hours of double XP saved, and I can't even use it right now.
Yeah.
Looping back to the Quest conversation, Gentlestone asks, is it an alternative to a TV for Xbox? Can it act as a display connected via HDMI, lag, refresh rate? I don't know. I would not use it as a replacement. I would use it in a pinch, right? Because of the lag, and you couldn't play games natively and stuff, because it's always going to be cloud. I will tell you that in the Quest 3S, Gentlestone, I'm enjoying the quality of cloud gaming that I'm getting with it, but I would not use it as a replacement by any means for an OLED, for a TV that has a native playing Xbox on it, because there's just too much latency for cloud streaming into the headset and then wanting that same pixel thing. So I wouldn't play Black Ops 6 in my headset over my Xbox, but there's something really cool about moving your hand and aiming that feels far beyond what I've experienced just in like arcades and stuff. And I didn't have a PSVR 1 or 2, never had a Rift or anything, but I am loving it in a way that is not just a fad, right? Like I'm clearly in a honeymoon period, but when I played Arkham, it feels like Arkham. I'm playing Arkham, and that is incredible. Like,
What's funny is you've not even gotten to where it even dives deeper into feeling like Arkham.
which only makes me that much happier, you know? Like it really does. It really does. I do think I'm having like these little like pauses, guys, where like I have to ask myself, do I want to sit in my chair and play on my Xbox, or do I want to stand up and put on my headset?
I played Arkham sitting down.
What? You can't be the Batman sitting down. I
was in the
I'm
Batmobile
so
the whole
offended.
Mhm.
I'm so offended by this. Oh my goodness.
Damn, I had to review that thing in 3 days. I'm sitting down.
That's fair. That's fair. Shout out to Sabrito, who's in chat. I didn't realize he was still here. There's an extra benefit to VR on the Quest, and there's a lot of games and experiences that can be an exercise outlet for exercise. Yes, actually. I ended up having to take a second shower because I had showered after work and soccer practice, and then I put on my headset and played, and then I was sweating at the end because of fighting, and then I did a rhythm game, which they have a lot of really good stuff in their equivalent of PlayStation Plus, Games with Gold, whatever it's called, MetaQuest Plus. Really neat. And then I also told Logan, who's in a long distance relationship, that there's these really cool hubs called Horizon Worlds, where you can go and just see your partner's avatar, walk around, high five, go to play different types of games very easily. Kind of like PlayStation Home, or a hub for like mini experiences. I went to the office, talked into Dunder Mifflin, and played Halloween games and like caught bats with trash cans like Dwight did and stuff. And those are really fun, and I enjoyed those as fun small experiences. And then discovered that some of them are full on games after I talked to you, Logan. And so again, I'm exploring and in a honeymoon phase. But when I get games the quality of Arkham and Resident Evil 4 VR and stuff, I'm really happy with my experience, and it makes me want to put a Quest 3 on my Christmas list, and hope that my wife, who just bought a $25,000 camper, will buy me this $500 headset. We'll see, but I really do love my experience, and I appreciate those in our XEP community that have been so welcoming to teaching me VR. And I thank all of you for that. It's been fun. And so I hope you don't mind me waxing poetic. I've debated even like doing a little VR corner mini channel on XEP. I don't know. I'm having fun. And I think I like sharing that I'm having fun with people. So
Luke, be honest. Was it the open world experiences where you could meet your people online and like high five them in person? Was that when you got sweaty, or was it actually the VR?
Oh, honest to goodness, I know the joke you're making, and like that doesn't even appeal. Like I don't know why. Like that doesn't appeal to me.
Really?
It does not. It really doesn't. Like that's not me. I don't know. I like that would not be like the VR headset.
You're gonna find a world that is nothing but like giant kaiju, and there's gonna be a bunch of little people like standing, like watching the Godzillas walk by, and you're gonna be like, and then there's going to be a Megazord that comes in, and that's going to get you sweaty.
I misunderstood you entirely. I thought you were talking like the people are making you sweaty, like the sex stuff. And I was like,
I was, but I'm just saying, like, you shut that down. So I'm going to come back and say, like, just wait.
I did play a kaiju one, and it's awesome because we were all floating around on jetpacks, shooting down this giant kaiju, and stopping him from destroying a city.
I've activated him. Apologies, my friends.
I did play one. But yeah, much like Dead by Daylight, I like sharing it with people something that I love with people that are willing to listen. But I don't want it to seem like that's the only thing. But I'm enjoying this VR experience a great deal, and so that's all. I won't go too much longer, but that was it. So thank you.
I think it's cool. I mean, we don't really get to talk about other stuff like this because I mean, there's definitely like there is a space where I would have loved to have been able to talk about the analog 3D announcement and like having 4K 60 frames per second and 64 games that run like flawlessly, but you know, those are different spaces with different creators. So it's nice to be able to have like an opportunity to kind of dive into some of those things that are like outside of the Xbox, because we're not getting VR on Xbox. That's just not going to happen. We'll get a handset before we get VR.
I will say the mixed reality part made me think a lot about Xbox's possibilities, because with Arkham being reviewing well and it's bundled right now, if you purchase a Quest 3S or 3, because it's bundled, there you have one of the best. I think it's coming in as the third best VR game ever, behind Alex and Asgard's Wrath 2. And for it to be embedded, it's a more approachable name than both of the Half-Life Alex and there, because like Batman Arkham's more relevant to like modern audiences, even though Half-Life is such a wonderful like legend. That's very interesting, and I'll be interested to see if any Xbox or PlayStation decides to let their content show up in these places, because mixed reality works very well on the Quest. So you can be in your room, there's a zombie game where you can put a door, a window, and a desk. You put the generator on the desk and you defend this room from zombies while the generator charges. Like that's imagine doing that with like hordes, like your Master Chief, and like fending off people. How cool.
Imagine just even having like we have a Quest game where it's mixed reality, but it's Viva Pinata. How many people love Viva Pinata and growing creatures and you know, breeding creatures and stuff like that? Having something like that available in like mixed reality, so you can actually pet like some of the creatures and stuff, that'd be a huge hit for Xbox. They could 100% start licensing out some of their content to VR creators and stuff like that. And really, even, I mean, next thing you know, you've got like Xbox kind of like featured quests where the hardware is tied in, and there's like a more apt version of the experience that you can usually get for like cloud streaming through the Quest. You know, it's a little more robust, especially with the news of them finally bringing in the ability to stream your games starting in November that you just own through cloud gaming. Like Quest has already got that functionality. Imagine being able to play your full game library like that. Imagine if they start pushing out even further with mixed reality to bring experiences that are like Xbox IP to that realm. I'd
love to see Halo Fireteam Raven there. That's the arcade game that you can go play, that rail shooter with. That would be a wonderful fit to get the Halo brand out there and like let people check it out. Todd Oxtra saying, meanwhile, Minecraft is dropping VR. Now that's interesting. Roblox is huge in VR. Minecraft is dropping it. I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
I think your biggest issue with mixed is just the space that people have, because that's mixed is a lot more relegated to your space. Like with Batman, I could sit there.
They do like, I think there's an opportunity, because I know with the Quest you can set up multiple spaces and kind of start adding different rooms to like your play area, because it all still kind of retains it in there. So I think that there's a world where you could kind of set up, you know, like, I don't know, maybe link up your Roomba to your Quest, so it pulls in.
No,
like,
we're getting too far now.
Floor data from your room, so it already has that mixed reality.
Logan's about to set up Skynet on us.
Look, if they can feed me whatever I want into my eyes, while the little robot does everything else and controls the world, that's fine. Realistically, I just need like chocolate milk.
Oh, so he wants
eggnog.
Matrix, not Skynet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Stick me in the Matrix. I'm fine with that. Look, what am I gonna do with my? Why do I need to worry about all this? It's all up here anyway.
Next month, Metro Awakening VR drops, and it looks to be another AAA experience, kind of like the new Alien game that's in December. So they've got Alien, Assassin's Creed, Metro, Arkham, Resident Evil 4. Like they've got some very good AAA experiences, and I think it's neat to see it start to happen. So it's cool.
Yeah.
I need more time to play some of these. VR for me is always the thing of I get home and I'm like, do I really want to get under a headset? Like that's
Sure.
usually what the issue I run into because it is a little more tiring comparatively.
Mm-hmm. It is. But I do like how when I'm done, I feel like I've done something a little bit differently. And again, honeymoon phase, I recognize that, I appreciate it, but I can tell, just like with Dead by Daylight, this is not something that I'm just doing. Like this is something I'm in now. Like I like this. This is fun, and I'm going to keep at this. A matter of how often, how much. Like I still play DBD all the time, and it's been 2.5 months. Like this is not a phase. I like it. I like this game. So I wonder if VR sticks. Todd asked that question. He's like, I wonder if you're still doing it in 3 months. Great question. I hope so, because I'm having such a good time. But if I get more Arkhams, if the Alien game is as good, then all I'm going to do is beg Xbox to find a way to get some of their experiences into VR, because I would get a Quest 4. I would, if there was a Halo game, if I could experience Viva Pinata or some of their IP. One of our listener questions came from Todd Oxter. He's like, with the Lego Horizon game, what do you want to see as a Lego game? What do you want to see from Xbox in VR or as Lego? Or branching our core pillar franchises into other realms is important. It's risky also.
Fallout and Skyrim are in VR.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Flight Sim 2020 had VR, said Rick Davis. That's a fair question. So, all right, boys. Well, I have waxed poetic on VR. I'll open the floor. Anything you guys want to chat about before we depart?
Sea of Thieves is on fire at the moment.
In a good way or bad way?
In a bad way.
Talk to me. He coughed immediately, but he was telling me privately how bad it is. Oh my gosh, Logan, when you're ready, hit it.
No, I'm kind of bummed about this, and I mean, I usually try to keep Sea of Thieves content to Keelhauled because that's generally where the listener base is for it. But Sea of Thieves is one of those pillar franchises for Rare, right, or for Xbox right now. Craig Duncan, the studio head of Rare, just got promoted to like head of Xbox games, because Rare was doing so well with Sea of Thieves. You know, like Joe Neat and Jim Horth, I think, is taking over as co-studio leads for Rare. And they also put out one of the worst seasons they have ever put out. And not because the content isn't compelling, it's because the content was taken out. And they've actually had to turn off everything except for 3 features in the actual season. So I wanted to kind of reach out to you guys because as someone who's deeply involved with the community for Sea of Thieves, I see this and everyone sees a fail. Like they've had to take out all of the features except for two weapons and the Murfruit thing, whereas like crouching was like the big thing for Sea of Thieves, being able to crouch after like 6 years. That is completely out of the game. Traps are completely, they weren't even brought into the game when the season launched. Like they didn't even have that functionality turned on. And coming out at this from someone on the inside, I'm curious to hear your guys' perspective. Sea of Thieves is always kind of advertised and shown off as a really good testament to what you can do when you spend time on a game. Has any of the conversation about how season 14 has really bombed gone out into your circles? Have you heard about this, or has it just been one of those things where it's so insular that only the people actually playing it are annoyed at what's going on?
I have
For-
900 hours in Sea of Thieves. I haven't heard about this except from you. What about you, Bacon?
You're my only link to Sea of Thieves, so unless I've heard it from you, I haven't heard it from anybody. But I only got about 5 hours in the game total in my life, so.
I've posted so many gaming reviews recently. I have not caught up on anything, so it might be, but probably not.
See, I'm always curious about this because like I think No Man's Sky just got a free update, and I can't even tell you what's in it, but they're still releasing free content. And Fallout Day just happened, which was wild because they went into the depths about playing as a ghoul. And the fact that you can actually play as a ghoul, have an entirely different build, and revert back if you don't like it. So there's been a lot of like content for a lot of the games that we see during that like kind of down period when
Sizzle
Xbox.
reel.
Yeah, when Xbox does their like, oh, by the way, here are all the updates for Elden Ring, Flight Simulator, you know, a PC game here and there, as well as like Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76. Like those are always the moments where people are like, oh, okay, time to go to the bathroom. Let's go, you know, like we'll take a break. There's no major announcements and stuff. But those are like the staples of Game Pass. Those are the games that consistently bring in revenue. They've got consistent player bases, and they're always something that is getting updated on a regular basis that not a whole lot of people have really chatted about or kept up on. But I really enjoyed the Fallout Day kind of news as far as like what they announced and just them continuing to add and bring more content to Fallout. I still haven't gotten a chance to actually jump in to try out the new zone, unfortunately, which is kind of a bummer. But at this point, I'm kind of waiting for the ghoul. But do you guys keep up on that stuff? Is that something that you try to like keep abreast of when they do come out with some of these news drops?
I know about it from you, but I don't think it hits large because, like, again,
Right.
DVD, deep into that one. You were in Destiny. You would tell me what's happening in Destiny. I would never have heard if you hadn't told me. Right. And so I just don't think it matters outside of those ecosystems that are super engaged. But those ecosystems exist and are huge. They're just, I think they used to cross over, right? They used to have more overlap than I think they currently do because it's so easy now to follow the content creator that makes the content about that game, follow the people that are relevant to it, and not follow everything else. So I don't see the overlap nearly like we used to 10 years ago.
Interesting. Okay.
Either of you guys?
No.
All right.
I know it was out of the blue, but they did have Fallout Day. They did have like a nice charitable thing going on afterwards. And then they're even having like a community convention in Vegas coming up later, I think next month. I'm not going to be able to make it. It would be really cool to actually make it, but I contemplated playing a ghoul for Halloween this year. I might do it next year, honestly.
That's fun.
But
That's
yeah,
fun.
Especially with the Fallout TV show. Like I'm surprised more people
So
aren't talking about the Fallout Day announcements, just because the Fallout TV was like everything back in spring, and everyone's like, you know, why haven't we gotten a new Fallout? You know, Fallout, and it's like Fallout 76 is a perfectly good game if you have, and a lot of people have not played it, and they're constantly bringing content, and they even expanded it this year, and they're adding a new playable race, which is the first time that's ever happened that I know of.
I mean, if Fallout Day was recent, everything's about COD right now.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's why, you know.
Yeah.
And like I joked on socials, and it wasn't very funny, but I did. You know, I tried. I put like I saw a PlayStation ad for Black Ops 6, and I was like, "There's Xbox marketing." Like they're just putting energy into Black Ops because that's their moneymaker. And I guess Fallout, I don't think they anticipate their community getting much larger in 76. They're just maximizing off what they can. Do you have time for it? Like I'm trying to sell you on getting, you know, playing Arkham or the zombie games in VR, but also Dead by Daylight, but also and then you're talking about Sea of Thieves and COD and Fortnite. Like they're just time. Sean Layden was talking with Friends Per Second podcast a couple weeks ago, and he was talking like live service games are just such a demand. There's not room for them in our lives.
Yeah,
not more than 2 or 3.
I mean, I dabbled into World of Warcraft's 20th anniversary this week. I played Heroes of the Storm. I played some Sea of Thieves just to kind of see what, you know, do some stuff in there. Call of Duty, Starship Troopers, as well as gosh, I feel like there's one more that I'm missing out. Oh, Fortnite, as well, to work on the battle pass to get the 38, and Diablo 4. I'm pretty much done with. I'm almost done with the season pass in Diablo 4. So that's what, 7 titles that I dabbled in, and a majority of those were all live service games that I'm just slowly kind of like scratching away at. So I mean, it's definitely possible, especially if you aren't going into single player content too much. If you're just playing multiplayer content, it's definitely doable to keep those up. It just depends, like, because right now World of Warcraft is having their anniversary season, so Fallout 76 would probably have replaced that had they not been having their 20th anniversary.
Makes sense. Well, gents, any other pressing topics, or are we good to roll? All right.
I think we're good.
Feel good.
David Burdette, point people to your content, what you've got in, what irons in the fire you can talk about, and where they can find you.
Let me pull up my list. I'm gonna look at it real quick.
He's got a legit list.
You can find everything on gamingtrend.com. We do literally everything. We've been actually hitting a whole lot of tech. So if you're interested in what headsets are good, what controllers are good, all this kind of stuff, I just dropped a review on SteelSeries refresh of the Apex Pro keyboard. Love that. You can come and chat with me on Twitter at SplitEnd89, and looks like I will have Black Ops 6 streams and review coming this next week, as well as I'm going to be working on Alan Wake 2's Lake House DLC and Corsair's Virtuoso Max headset, as well as Manba sent me their controller. It's kind of weird, but it's cool. It's another one of those controllers with a screen on it. But this is a PC. This is actually a PC Switch controller. So, but it's only like $70, and it has rechargeable battery, Hall effect sticks, the screen. It's pretty neat.
That's cool. Very cool. Excellent. Bacon, what you got going on, my friend?
Well, most people in this chat already know us and come over and watch us, but I'm on a podcast every Thursday night called The Nerd Chat, not Nerd Chat, The Nerd Chat. There's 2 of us out there. We stream every Thursday night, gaming food in the good old days, where me and 3 of my best friends just hang out and talk. We're all PC gamers now and don't even touch our consoles, but we're Xbox PC gamers. So, and I'm xBaconGaming across all your socials and every gaming platform there is, just xBaconGaming. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Captain, what's going on with Keelhauled?
Today is going to be the community episode for Keelhauled, so I'm going to be sitting down with my patrons to talk about the game, its state, what they think. I can't see it being a whole lot of positive, which is unfortunate because this was the start of a season and it should be the most exciting time because people are jumping in to work on the commendations, get their cosmetics, work on the season pass, play with the new tools, see how they're working, and there's literally nothing I can think of that I'm really stoked about. And all I have is notes for the studio. And they've put out the Mea Culpa video saying, we this update didn't hit expectations. And it's like, I don't think it hit expectations for anyone. None of the content is live. So we'll be talking about that. So that'll be out this coming Monday. Outside of that, working on Starship Troopers as well as Call of Duty, and just looking to get back in and shoot things, whether they're zombies, other people, bugs, like just ready to pull a trigger.
There you go. Nice. That's healthy. Let's go. America. Yeah.
America.
Well, you guys can find me on socials at InsipidGhost. I just put out the review of the Halloween and Ash vs. Evil Dead. Seems like a lot of people have checked that out, which I really appreciate. Thank you to you guys. I want to thank everybody that's been in chat today. I saw Gentle Stone and Nicholas Johnson, Nisa Hauer, Sabarito was here, Rick Davis. It was so good to see your name. Coffee Chick, always good to see you. Todd Oxter was here. Corey XB. Scrolling, making sure I don't miss somebody. I feel like I've said everybody. Let's see. Game Positive in the house for his super chat. Yep. In general, guys, thank you.
PSA if you got a second.
PSA it. Hit it.
Yeah. If you are a veteran, the Call of Duty Endowment does offer the pack for free. You just go to callofdutyendowment.org/USAA and they have a verification process, so you can get the pack for nothing. Also, O'Charlie's, if it's close to you, Monday through Thursday, they do a $25 family meal that's 25 chicken tenders. It's what's getting me through this weekend playing Call of Duty. So
It should be Little Caesars and Monster Energy drink. I'm just saying.
There you go. Oh man.
sometimes you buy but don't consume on those things. It keeps you healthier.
Food waste. Work it off later. You guys get a VR treadmill and work it off later.
Yeah.
I put that link to the Call of Duty Endowment in chat as well as on the screen right now, so you guys
So
should
fat.
be able to take advantage of that. Thank you for your service, for sure. That's going to be it for us. Have a fantastic rest
I
of your
literally
week.
just verified that in like 2 seconds with my military ID. So thanks.
Nice.
There you go. Done. Take care, everybody.
Bye.